Hello, my friends. So, if it's for the first time you're watching this channel by watching this video, I've been doing a series on rules of the road. So, this is part number 6, of which should be the last part on rules of the road. All right. So, it's been quite a long session. So this is part number 6. I hope that you will catch up on other parts from part 1 up to this one. So today we get to do rules of the road. But before I start reading and explaining, please make sure if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe, you share the video, and you like the video. Thank you so much for choosing to be part of this gang fork. Okay, sure. Now we get to do general duties of driver and passengers. So if you're a passenger, you must know what things are you allowed to do and what things are you not allowed to do as a passenger. Okay. So I'm starting on the driver must be seated to maintain control of the vehicle and have a clear view of the road ahead. Okay? As a driver, you must be seated to maintain the control of the vehicle and have a clear view. Have a clear view as a driver. The clear view of the road ahead. Now, you may not travel backwards further than it's necessary. Okay? You may not travel backwards further than it's necessary. Ngeke kulokhu hamba ngo-reverse. Ngeke nje. Lokhu hamba ngo-reverse. It's no longer necessary. So you're reversing because you're trying to find, maybe you're trying to find ispace right sokuthi uhambe. So that's why you're reversing. Mhlawumbe ubupakile uyareversa ufuna yabo. So but reversing further than it's necessary, you may not do that. You may not follow another vehicle too closely. You may not allow another person or animal to interfere with your control of the vehicle. Kunalabantu abathanda ukuhamba nezinja. Manje akasakhona ukujikisa i-steering ngoba inja ihleli manje kwi-steering. Fork. Ho. You may not allow another person to steer. You see? You can't say, mfana ngicela ungijikisela le moto, I'm still chatting. No. You may not do that. You may not leave the vehicle unattended without setting the parking brake or using alternative methods. Okay? What are those alternative methods? If we may mention a few. So sometimes if your car doesn't have a parking brake, handbrake is not working. So you can put your car in gear number 1 and then you switch it off. It will not move. Believe me, I've done that so many times. You may not allow any portion of you or passengers. You may not allow any portion of your or passengers. The people who wrote this thing, I should tell them they wrote nonsense here. You should not allow any portion of you or your passengers' body stick out of the vehicle, except for hand signals. So your passengers should not just stick out their part of their bodies out of the car, okay? And the hand signal is only to be done by you. You can't say your passenger should give out a hand signal, okay? You may not run the engine if it is giving excessive smoke. This is where I'm reading now. Here, okay? Here. You may not allow any portion. You may not run the engine off. Okay. Here is where I am. You may not run the engine if it's giving off excessive smoke or fumes. Those siyahamba ke manje emgwaqeni, umgwaqo ugcwele intuthu ke manje, it's because of your ganda of your car. Fork nje leyo nto leyo. You may not run the engine while fuel is being pumped or if the fuel tank cap is off. You see? So now, when you are going to the garage to pour some fuel, make sure that you turn off the engine, right? You turn off the engine of your vehicle. It's by law. You are not allowed to do that. You may not leave the engine running if the vehicle is unattended. Ukushiya imoto iduma nje uhambe. No, you cannot do that. You may not deposit fuel, grease, oil, or any other flammable matter on or refuse onto or alongside of the road. Akungcoliswa nje umgwaqo. Uthela upetrol emgwaqeni, ugrease yini. Fuck. You may not allow passengers to get on or off while the vehicle is moving. You may not drive, pull or push a vehicle onto a pavement. It's clear, straightforward. You may not fail to give way to emergency vehicles. So when you hear an emergency vehicle behind you, you must give way, okay? You may not operate a communication device, cell phone or two-way radio. You must use hands-free or headset. So you may not have your phone when driving. You must use Bluetooth, Baba. Connect your phone on Bluetooth, then you drive. And then we have abandoned vehicle. So let me switch off data. Make sure switch off data. Okay. Abandoned vehicles. So there are some instances where vehicles are considered abandoned. So vehicles abandoned on a public road or in a public place may be removed and impounded. The owner is liable for all costs. The vehicle may not be sold to settle these costs, right? So when your car is being impounded, it will not be sold. You will have to pay. You have to bail it out. Okay? Yes. So abandoned vehicles include what? Vehicle obstructing other traffic or standing in a way to cause potential danger. Left more than 24 hours in the same place on a non-public road, on a non-urban public road. If it's left 24 hours, kokasi. Emakaya, non-urban. You see, it's non-urban. It's what? 24 hours. If it's left 24 hours, non-urban public road. Left more than 7 days on a public road or testing station, kokasi, 7 days. Lana esigangeni, ishiwe esigangeni 24 hours. 7 days ekasi endaweni eyi-1. It's considered as abandoned. When it is found on a public road without a number plate or a false number plate. When it is found without any means of identifying the owner. When it is parked on a no stopping or no parking area. That car is considered abandoned. Damage to public roads. You may not drag or spin the wheels of a vehicle on the surface of the road. You may not use shocks or shoes between the wheels and the road. Straightforward, okay? You are damaging the road. And then tires. The tread pattern must be clearly visible and have a depth of not less than 1 millimeter across the tires, okay? So ungahambi ngempandla uhambe ngethayi uhamba ukhotha phansi. Fuck. The entire width and circumference for motorcycles under 50cc must have a tread pattern visible on at least 80% of the tread width. But if you're doing motor vehicle, you are not going to consider this one. Side walls must not have deep cuts and inner cords should not be visible. Thole manje esayidini le-tire ine deep cut, deep cut. The tire should not be on such a state to display or condition that may cause damage to the road or be a danger. Motorcycles may not be fitted with retread tires, okay? Buses and taxis operating with a license issued by the Department of Transport must be fitted with commercial steel radial ply tire, and the steerable wheels must be fitted with anti-burst stabilizer device. Okay. Now, seat belts. Seat belts are compulsory to wear when in a moving vehicle. A child is defined as a person between the ages of 3 and 14 years, except when such person is taller than 1.5 meters, that he or she is regarded as an adult, irrespective of age. And then a person older than 14 is defined as an adult, right? Helmets. You may not ride a motorcycle or be a passenger on a motorcycle or in a sidecar attached to a motorcycle on a public road unless a protective helmet is worn. Okay? Convoys. You may not travel in a convoy over the weekend, long weekends, or 2-day holidays, 25 and 26 December during 6 p.m. the night before the weekend or holiday starts, or blah 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 blah. Convoys, that's it. Hey, animal, animals on a public road. Sorry, the convoys normally applies on the convoys normally applies on the motorcycles, ne? The motorcycles. So, and we are interested in that one of a for vehicles, okay? So, animals on a public road, animals that are not under the control of someone are not allowed on public roads or in a place. Okay? They may stray into in a place that they may stray. Okay, the way they roll this thing. Animals that are not under the control of someone are not allowed on public roads or in a place that they may stray into public. The people controlling the animals on a public road must carry a warning of at least 150 meters ahead and beyond the head as follows. From sunset to sunrise, they must carry a red light. From sunrise to sunset, a 300 millimeter square red flag. So this one, it's because it's a square, 300 millimeters by 300 millimeters. Okay, so when you see something like this, it means it's a square, because square is side squared, or length times length. Okay, side squared, side by side, 300 by 300. Okay. Okay. If there are less than 10 animals only, one light of flag is required. Okay. Emergency triangles. At least one double-sided reflective triangle, SABS approved, must be carried at all times. If the vehicle is broken down or stationary on a public road, the triangle must be displayed at least 45 meters from the rear of the vehicle. Okay? Unauthorized use of vehicle. No one may drive, occupy, or tamper with a vehicle without the owner's permission. You can't drive my car without my permission. Fork. Number 2, it is illegal to change a vehicle's engine or chassis number without prior written consent of the registering authority. Okay? Pedestrians' legal rights. If a vehicle collides with a pedestrian, the driver will be prosecuted irrespective of who had the right of way. Washayisa umuntu will be prosecuted. Washayisa umuntu. Fuck. Racing and sports. You may not conduct a race or sports meeting on a public road without consent of MEC or relevant local authority, or with a modified vehicle that does not meet the specification of the manufacturer's SAPS. Okay. And then there are additional rules for motorcycles and motor tricycles and quad bikes. So I'm not going to cover these because right now we are doing one for motor vehicles. You see? So motorcycles, and now I get to carrying loads on motor vehicles. Okay? No part of a load may touch the road surface. Okay? The load must be securely fastened or be inside the vehicle without hindering the driver's control or view of the road. Okay? It's clearly. Fanele umthwalo ufase uthi ntsi. Yabona? And akumele ufihle iview ka driver. Sorry. So these are very important now. These are very important for you to always remember. Okay? They say loads may not exceed more than 300 millimeters beyond the front and 1.8 meters beyond the rear. They may not exceed 4.3 meters high from the ground on goods vehicles. Okay? They may not exceed 2.5 meters wide, 2.6 meters for goods vehicle, of which is 12,000 kgs or more. Abnormal loads require permission from traffic authorities. Okay? Any fitted brakes 150 millimeters beyond the vehicle's widest part. Okay? Then there are safety markings. Loads that project 150 or more to the side of the vehicle must be marked with, at daytime, 300 millimeter square red flag, 300 by 300 red flag, okay, attached to each corner, front and rear of the load. At night, white red reflectors, white reflector on each corner of the road, red reflector at each corner at the rear, and yellow reflector of the sides. It's clear. Loads less than 600 millimeters wide that project 300 or more beyond the rear of the vehicle must be marked with, number 1, daytime, a single 300 millimeter square red flag attached to the rear of the load. At night, white, 1 red reflector at the rear of the load, my friend. And then we get to the rules with regards to accidents. Okay. For accidents, in the event of accident involving a vehicle, person, animal, or property, number 1, stop the vehicle immediately. Okay? When you are involved in an accident, You check for any injuries. You provide any assistance where possible to the injured. Don't say, Mina, I'm not experienced with carrying hurt people. What if I hold this person and I break them more? No, 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 no. You provide assistance as far as possible. You provide your name, address, and address of the vehicle's owner and vehicle registration number. And then you report the accident to the police within 24 hours. Sabon? Yes. Now, in the event of someone being killed during the accident, you call the emergency services immediately. Sabon? Immediately. You ensure that all the vehicles involved are not moved without a traffic officer's authorization, unless the vehicles are blocking the road or standing in a way to cause potential danger. Only after their positions have been marked on the road surface. Okay? Then we get to reckless negligence or inconsiderate driving. You may not drive in a manner that disregards the safety of other road users or property. You may not drive recklessly. Hey, folkish. And then intoxicating liquor and narcotic drugs. No person shall drive a motor vehicle on a public road while the concentration of alcohol in a person's body is, okay, 0.05 grams per 100 millimeter of blood or more. And then there's this second point, 0.02 grams per 100 milliliter of blood or more in case of a professional driver. Okay. And that's it. That wraps our session. And that's it. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we are done. We have closed the session for road rules. We will still cover some road rules more and maybe unpacking more and more rules so that you understand it bit by bit. But thank you for choosing to watch this series of the road rules. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and comment.